Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new subject of class 8, Social and Political Life. And today we will discuss the first chapter, the Indian Constitution. In this chapter, we are going to study what is a constitution, why does a country need a constitution, who drafted it, and what are its key features. Let's start with the first question, what is a constitution? A constitution can be described as a document outlining the basic laws or principles by which a country is to be governed. It can also be defined as a written document in which we find the rules by which a country would function. It reflects the ideals that a country upholds. So basically, it is the guidelines which help to run a country. The second question as to why do we need a constitution? We all know that India is a country with diverse culture, religion, language, traditions and customs. So, to administer a big country like India, rules are needed. Firstly, the constitution serves as a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon, on the basis of which the country would be governed, and also the ideals that the country should uphold. The constitution reflects the ideas on whose basis the citizens of the country want the country to function. It defines the nature of a country's political system as to who will run the country, a king or the people, what type of political system will be better. Most of the time, all democratic countries are likely to have a constitution, but it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. This thing has to be kept in mind that all democracies have a constitution, but every country which has a constitution is not a democracy. Let us understand the meaning of democracy first. Democracy is made up of two words, demo meaning public and cracy meaning rule. So democracy is rule of the people, in which we choose our leaders so that they can exercise power responsibly on our behalf. But there is always a possibility that these leaders might misuse their authority, and the Constitution provides safeguards against this by guaranteeing certain fundamental rights to the citizens, like the right to equality. The right to equality states that all people are equal before the law. No citizens can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, sex, or culture. Everyone has access to all public places like parks, libraries, hospitals, schools, colleges. Then the state cannot discriminate against anyone on matters of employment. In a democracy, the Constitution ensures that a dominant group does not use its power against other less powerful people or groups. It ensures that the interests of the minorities are safeguarded and they are not excluded from anything that is routinely available to the majority. The Constitution safeguards the minorities or weaker sections in inter-community or intra-community domination. Now here I would like you to understand these 2 points, inter-community domination and intra-community domination. Inter-community domination refers to the situation where one powerful community dominates another less powerful community. Suppose in India we have majority population as Hindus, and there are few people who practice different other religions like the Buddhists or the Jains or the Sikhs or the Christians. So there are times when the people following a majority group of people following certain religious beliefs might try to overpower the people who are less in number from a different community. So this is known as the inter-community domination. And now for intra-community domination, This refers to the situation where members of one community dominate others within the same community. In inter-community domination, it was between two different communities, but in intra-community, it is between the same community. This happens like the higher caste dominating the lower caste among the Hindus. So that case comes to be known as the intra-community domination. A constitution also helps us to protect us against certain decisions that we might take that could have an adverse effect on the larger principles that the country believes in. So we need a constitution to save us from ourselves. The constitution does not allow us to change its basic structure. It does not allow for easy overthrow of provisions that guarantees rights of citizens and protect their freedom. Then there is a question again, who drafted the constitution? The Constitution of India was drafted by the Drafting Committee of the Constituent Assembly under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It had 299 members, out of which 15 were women. It was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949 and came into force on 26 January 1950. It is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. So for today, we have dealt with the questions. What is a constitution? Why does a country need a constitution? Who drafted the constitution? And in tomorrow or the next class, we will deal with the key features of the Indian Constitution. Now that I have explained the basic points of this chapter, let us underline some few important things. I would like you all to underline these in your books, like from the very first chapter. What is the purpose of Constitution? So the Constitution serves several purposes. First, it lays down the certain ideals that form the basis of the kind of country that we as citizens aspire to live in. Or put in another way, a constitution tells us what the fundamental nature of a society is. A constitution helps us serve a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon as the basis of the way in which they want the country to be governed. So the constitution is not just somebody's wish. A group of people sit together and then they consider about all the different groups of people living in the country so that everybody's interest is served. So they have drafted a constitution in a manner which looks after the interest of all the communities or all the citizens of the country. Now in the next page, I want you to underline the second important purpose of a constitution is to define the nature of a country's political system. For example, Nepal's earlier constitution stated that the country was to be ruled by the king. So it was a monarchy earlier, and his council of ministers looked after all the governance of the country. But later on, the people agitated a lot. They did not like the monarchy. They wanted the rule of the people. So there were so many protests and demonstrations, and later on in 2015, the government of Nepal adopted a new constitution for the country. Then the constitution plays a crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within these societies. In a democracy, we choose our leaders so that they can exercise power responsibly on our behalf. But sometimes these leaders, they try to misuse the authority. So the constitution provides safeguards against this type of tyranny or misuse of power by our leaders. For explaining this there's a nice example given in your book in which Suresh is the class monitor and his classmates are not too fond of him, and when the class teacher asks, so he points out or blames other students who have not done anything wrong in the country, but he says that they are not obeying the class monitor, and the teacher finally punishes those students to write an imposition 100 times. So this is again a misuse of power by the class monitor. So similarly, if our leaders misuse the powers given to them on our behalf, if they tend to misuse their powers, the Constitution has certain guidelines to safeguard the interests of the people. You to underline these lines, the Indian Constitution guarantees the right to equality to all persons and says that no citizen can be discriminated against on grounds of religion, race, caste, gender and place of birth. The right to equality is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. The right to equality says that all people are equal before the law. No citizen can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, sex. Everyone has access to all public places like the schools, libraries, playgrounds, museums, parks. The state cannot discriminate against anyone on matters of employment. So these are all the right to equality for which the citizens of India enjoy under the fundamental rights. Then you please underline these lines again. Constitution plays in a democracy, another function that it plays in a democracy is to ensure that a dominant group does not use its power against less powerful people or group. So for explaining this, there's a nice example given in your book again, like how when there are few girls in a class and majority of the students are boys, so when they go out for having a games period and then the teacher asks what should you play, the boys say no, we will play cricket, but the girls want to play basketball. But since the boys are in a majority, so the teacher decides to let the boys play cricket, let everybody play cricket, and then the girls feel that they are in a minority and their interests are not safeguarded. So the Constitution contains rules that ensures minorities are not excluded from anything that is routinely available to the majority. Like again, when we have the majority of population following a particular religion and the other religions like Buddhism, Jainism, where we have less number of people following these religions, they should not feel insecure about their rights. So the Constitution has again made provisions that the rights of minorities are also safeguarded. Then there's another thing that I want you to understand, like I had explained earlier, the inter-community domination and intra-community domination. Please underline those lines. There can be a question here like, write the difference between inter-community domination and intra-community domination. And please underline these lines also. The third significant reason why we need a constitution is to save us from ourselves. This may sound strange, but this is what is meant by this way, like it's given in the book. Nice example about a girl who is willing to study. I want you to read the chapter, you'll understand it better that way. So similarly, the Constitution helps us to protect us against certain decisions that we might take that could have an adverse effect on the larger principles that the country believes in later on. So these are the reasons why we need a constitution. So let us recap the reasons why the constitution plays an important role in democratic societies by recalling the constitutive rules that you have read about through these examples. So it's written all here. Please go through it And if you have a different answer, you may please find it out and write and let me know through Campus Care. Please read the chapter thoroughly, and in the next class we'll be dealing with the key features of the Indian Constitution. So please do read the chapter. Thank you.